Welcome to Tim Talks. Again, here I am. Um, Thank you for listening. I appreciate it so much. I'm blown away by it. This talk here, it came to me. I want it to be entitled "Have a Perspective of Consciousness or Awareness that Other Living Beings have their own consciousness and awareness." And here we go. In other words, as you go out into nature and you're dealing with a myriad of living beings, right? Birds, insects, dragonflies, butterflies, bees, trees, plants, water, rocks, ecosystems, creeks, lakes, the sky, the clouds, mountains, valleys, trails, countless birds, mountain lions, bears, bobcats, weasels, marmots, pack rats, mice, voles, and on and on and on. Each one of these beings has a life force within it, has its own consciousness, its own way of relating to the world around it. Each one of these things. And here's the beauty. If you go out into the world, when you go out into the world, just take a moment, particularly if you're going out into nature or a place where you're going to observe nature. It could be a city park, it could even be a city, but more often than not, it's out somewhere in nature. Before you go out, set the tone for your experience. This does not have to be a big deal, but it just literally opens the door for so much more to happen to you. See if you can put your cell phone down and not use it for a while. Be cell phone free, contraption free, just you and nature. The more you can do that, the better. I know you can't do it all the time, but the more you can do it, the better. Set your intention to let nature be your teacher, let nature be your healer, and maybe most important of all, the intention to allow yourself to connect on a spiritual, emotional, intellectual, consciousness level with all other living beings. Now, just by opening the door to that, just by saying that it's important, that you believe in it, that you want to have that experience, you want to go deeper with other beings, you open the floodgates for it to come. Now, the other thing as you go out into nature with this idea is, as much as possible, walk in a meditative way. Now, not an overly meditative way where it's kind of canned, but if you can, get your shoes off. If you can't, wear thin-soled shoes and feel the earth. And as you're walking, allow your troubles to drift away. It's kind of like when you meditate, you want to clear your mind. It's one of the most important aspects. So as much as you can, forget about the bills you have to pay, relationship struggles you might be having, work struggles you might be having, health issues you might be having. As much as you can, let those things drift away as you walk down the trail or something like that, and be as much as you can in the moment. I want to repeat this. As much as you can in the moment. It's in the moment that connection to that consciousness of that tree, that consciousness of that dragonfly, that consciousness of that pack rat or that butterfly or that body of water or that forest in front of you can happen. Every one of those things is a living being and relates to the world in its own unique way, just like you and I do. But we as humans, we have this highly developed intellectual mind, which is an amazing being within us. It brings us some of the greatest joy and amazingness in our lives, but it also creates a lot of havoc for us too. But that mind is one of the keys. If you can, by letting your body know through your mind that it's possible And then letting your mind shut down or quiet down and just allowing your senses to come forth, particularly your ability to feel. Another way to look at it is, and I know I'm jumping around here, but it's all important. Another way to look at it is opening your heart and bringing nature in. It's as if your heart had hands and reached out and pulled nature in. Breathe nature in. Breathe the trees in. Breathe the animals in. Breathe the air in. Remember, when you're breathing that sacred air, everything else that is breathing that air, you're breathing in. You're sharing that air with all the other beings in the woods. You're all doing it together. When you're walking on the ground, you're sharing the physical earth with all other living beings live in those woods. When you see little trails, you know that pack rats and foxes and squirrels walk before you there. Maybe a bear, maybe some deer, maybe a mountain lion. You know that. And just to know that and then walk the trail yourself is a connecting experience. It's about observing it. It's about letting it into your consciousness. There's no right or wrong with this. It's a joy to do it. It's not hard work. It's a joy to do it. It is not hard work. It's a joy to do it. Remember that. And as you do it, as you go along, there might be what we call highlights. Something will look a little brighter. Something will call to you through your mind. You'll feel a connection to one tree over another, or to a squirrel up in a tree over another, or the patterns in a forest, or a place along a creek where the water is, something like that, or a patch of ground. When that call comes, notice the call. Notice how it comes. Is it a feeling within you? Is it an idea that pops in your head? Is it a chill you get? Is it just look brighter? Notice it, and then lock that away somewhere within your being, because it'll be a tool for you in the future to connect more deeply. And then just simply allow yourself to stop and spend precious time with whatever being that is that called to you in whatever way it called to you. Allow yourself to spend some precious time with that being. It might be you just look and gaze at it with your beautiful eyes and soak it in. It might be that you touch it. It might be that you sit with it and observe the world around, kind of share the space. It might be that you ask it a question inside yourself or verbally, and you feel the answer come. Whatever it is, it's going to be a good thing. It's going to expand your awareness. It's going to expand your deeper connection to the heart and the soul of the woods, of the forest, of our earth, and thus the universe that we live in. It's going to expand the areas of your life that have strong boundaries and hold you back. They're going to get a little bit looser, a little bit more foggy, if you would, and allow you to grow and expand out. And as you do, you take in more of the world around you, and with the earth and the forest and the wildlands, the more you feel a part of it, separate. And there'll be a moment, we call it an epiphany moment, a defining moment, when you know you are the woods. You know you are the tree. You know you are the squirrel. You know you are the mountain lion. You are the grassland. You are that body of water, because you are the earth. And you will feel that connection. It might come quickly, and then it might fade, or it might stay. When it does, that's a defining moment that will thrust you onward in your life, and your relationship to nature will only go deeper and deeper and deeper. Couple this with a commitment to becoming an earth caretaker, committing your life to caring for and stewarding the earth, and man, you have made it. You're reaching the top of the mountain. Now you only have to do one more thing. Keep going out in nature. Keep going out in nature. And that's not always easy. We get busy and we forget. A side note here. All of this will only enhance your experience to go deeper in cities in the more human world. And it'll only enhance ideas to make cities and suburbs and such more good for animals, more good for people, thus too, adding more parks, more vacant lots, keeping them wild, and changing people's yards for wildlife. It'll inspire you to do good. That's Earth stewardship. So eventually it does what we've taught a lot on these Tim Talks. It'll be a full circle experience. And you'll be living the circle of life, and you'll be connected to the circle of life, and you'll be fulfilled with life, and your life will only get better because of it. So get out in the woods. It's the best place to be. Oh.